In this video, we're going to discuss about the phylum Aschelminthus. Aschelminthus. This can also be termed as Nemathelminthus. Aschelminthus or Nemathelminthus both mean the same thing. Nemathelminthus. This phylum is commonly called as roundworms. It consists of roundworms. Why are they called roundworms? Because their body is round in the circular cross section. So it is round when we cut an Aschelminth. If we cut one of it, then we in the cross section, if we observe it carefully, we see a circular shape or a round shape. That's why they are called as roundworms. So here, if this is the circular cross section and it's like this, so we are seeing it from this side, and if we cut one of the roundworms, so if we have a roundworm like this one, if we cut this one like this, and if we turn it this side and see, we see a circular shape. That's why they're called as roundworms, round shape. So the cross section is in the round shape. If anyone asks you why are they called as roundworms, we should not tell that their body shape is round. We have to specify that the cross section of the body, when we cut it, the cross sectional area is circular in shape or it is round in shape. That is why they are called as roundworms. Let's talk about some of its general characteristics. They are triploblastic. Triploblastic. What do we mean by triploblastic? Triploblastic means there are 3 germ layers in the embryonic stage. 3 germ layers are endoderm, ectoderm and mesoderm. The outer one is ectoderm, the inner one is endoderm and the middle one is mesoderm layer. Next, about its symmetry, they are bilaterally symmetrical animals. Bilaterally symmetrical animals. Bilaterally symmetrical means the organism can be cut into half through only one plane, and that one plane is called as sagittal plane. This thing we have already discussed in the previous videos. This is about the symmetry. And what about the coelom, the body cavity? They are pseudocoelomate. So we have acoelomate, pseudocoelomate and eucoelomate. This Aschelminthus, these are pseudocoelomate. So we have, what do we mean by pseudocoelomate? Pseudocoelomate means the false body cavity. So pseudo means false, coelom means body cavity. There is a false body cavity. There are scattered pouches of the mesodermal layers or the cells which are present inside the cavity actually. They are not properly lined across those layers. They are not like this. So if we draw it, they are not exactly properly lined along the layers. They are just scattered pouches like this. Somewhat look like this. These are pseudocoelomate animals. Now we have said that Aschelminthus or Nemathelminthus, this phylum includes roundworms or nematodes. Nematodes. It includes roundworms or nematodes. Both mean the same thing. So roundworms, Aschelminthus, Nemathelminthus, nematodes all mean the same thing. But these are some different terms that we give to these animals. So these are pseudocoelomate, the body cavity. Let's take a look at their body plan. We have cell aggregate body plan, blind sac body plan and tube within tube body plan. Aschelminthus or nematodes, these have tube within tube body plan. Tube within tube body plan. What do we mean by tube within tube body plan? Tube within tube body plan means there is a complete alimentary canal or digestive system. In blind sac body plan, there is incomplete digestive system. There is only one opening, and that one opening serves as mouth and anus. In case of tube within tube body plan, there is a complete digestive system or alimentary canal. There are two separate openings. One is for mouth and one is for anus. This is about the body plan of the nematodes. These have tube within tube body plan or the complete alimentary canal. Let's talk about the body wall. Body wall. The body wall consists of 3 layers. The outer one is called as cuticle. The middle one is termed as epidermis. And the inner one is called as the muscular layer. So the outer one is cuticle, the middle one is epidermis, and the inner one is the muscular layer. The epidermal layer is syncytial. Epidermis. What is syncytial? Syncytial means here, if this is a layer of the cells, usually the epithelium or the layer looks like this. So here we have one cell and the second cell and the third cell. But in case of the nematodes epidermis, these boundaries are not visible, and thus they look like multinucleated cells. So usually it has to be present like this. So here is a nucleus. Here the epidermis is syncytial, but syncytial means there is no boundary between the cells. There is no layer which is differentiating between two cells. That's why it appears as multinucleated. So syncytial means multinucleated or undifferentiated. We can't differentiate between the cells. There is no boundary that we can see between the two cells. That's why they appear multinucleated. This is a very important characteristic of nematodes. They have syncytial or multinucleated epidermis. And the inner layer is muscular layer. Muscular layer means it consists of muscles. This muscular layer consists of only longitudinal muscles. Usually we have two types of muscles, the longitudinal and the circular muscles. But in case of nematodes, only longitudinal muscles are present. So longitudinal muscles only. There are no circular muscles which are present. So this is about the body wall. Body wall consists of the cuticle, epidermis and the muscular layer. Now let's talk about some more characteristics. These nematodes, they show a property which is called as utili. This is a very important characteristic of Ascalminthus. So they show the property called as utili. What is utili? Utili is basically the consistency of the cells in the organ systems. So for example, to understand this better, let's take an example. For example, there are 10 cells in the digestive system. This is not true, but we are just taking an example for our understanding. For example, let's say there are 10 cells in the digestive system. From the time that this roundworm, this nematode is formed, when it is born or formed, until the time it dies or it is fully grown up, the number of cells in that organ system, in the digestive system, is going to be the same. So that means when the roundworm is formed or born, then it is 10 cells in the digestive system. When it is fully grown or died, when it died or when it is fully grown, at the whole lifetime, the number of cells in a particular digestive system is going to remain the same. That is the cell consistency or the utili. So utili is the consistency of the cells in a particular organ system. So when they are born or when they actually form, when they are in childhood, when they actually form, the number of cells, how many number of cells are there in a particular system? It can be digestive system, circulatory, respiratory, nervous, whatever system it is. But actually in nematodes, there is no circulatory system and respiratory system, but there is excretory system. Whatever system we take into consideration in nematodes, the number of cells is going to remain the same until in their whole lifetime. So that's what utili is. Utili is the cell consistency in all organ systems. So they show utili. This is one more unique characteristic of nematodes. Utili is first discovered in a species of nematode, that is Caenorhabditis elegans. This is the first nematode species, that is Caenorhabditis elegans. This is the first nematode species where the utili is discovered. So when the scientists studied this this organism, this roundworm, which is Caenorhabditis elegans, then they have discovered this utili, and from then we have understood that nematodes show this property utili. So this is one unique and very important characteristic of nematodes. Also, nematodes show sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism. What is sexual dimorphism? Sexual dimorphism means they are dioecious. They are not hermaphrodite. Dioecious. What is sexual dimorphism or dioecious? That means sexes are separate. There is a male and a female. There we can distinguish between male and female. In case of Platyhelminthes, this is the phylum that we have discussed in the previous video. Platyhelminthes are flatworms and they are hermaphrodite. That means sexes are not separate. Male and female reproductive organs are present on the same organism. In case of nematodes, they show sexual dimorphism or dioecious. There is male and female, sexes are separate. This is one more important thing, that they show sexual dimorphism. Also, one more thing, they show organ grade of organization. Organ grade of organization. This thing also we have discussed when we are talking about the criteria of classification of animals. That is organ, we have cellular grade, tissue grade, organ grade and organ system grade. This thing we have already discussed in the previous videos. Also, Aschelminthes are ammonotelic. They excrete NH3, that is ammonia, and the excretory structures in nematodes are Rennet cells. Rennet cells are the H-shaped excretory tubes, excretory structures. This structure of these Rennet cells we have discussed in the video of excretion and osmoregulation, that is excretory products and then elimination. There we have taken a look at the excretory structures in nematodes in detail. That is Rennet cells or H-shaped excretory structures. H-shaped structures. They look like the alphabet H in the English language. So H-shaped structures. So H-shaped structures or Rennet cells. This is also very important one. In Platyhelminthes, the excretory structure is flame cell. Here it is Rennet cell, or usually we call it as H-shaped structures. So this is about the excretory system and the mode of excretion, that is their ammonotelic. Coming to the fertilization. The fertilization is internal. Internal fertilization. Internal fertilization means the fertilization happens inside the body of this roundworm, not outside. There can be external as well, like in ctenophores. There it happens external fertilization, but in case of nematodes it's internal fertilization. Let's talk about the mouth. Mouth in this phylum, mouth of these organisms consists of, so mouth consists of 3 to 6 lips. So mouth is with 3 to 6 lips with sensory papillae. This is also a very important characteristic, that the mouth is with 3 to 6 lips, and that is too, it is with the sensory papillae. So this is about the mouth, and we have taken a look at the body wall, the body plan, the body cavity symmetry, and the common name and germ layers. One more, show utili. This sexual dimorphism, organ grade, excretion, and the fertilization. So this all things we have taken a look at. These are the general characteristics of nematodes. One more important thing, here we are going to write it, or maybe here. Nematodes, these we have talked about the sexual dimorphism. These nematodes are dioecious, that means male and female is there. One more important thing about when we talk about sexual dimorphism in nematodes, that females are longer than males. So as you can see in the structure, the diagram here, the male is a bit short and they are short and they're curved. So they are short and they are curved. So you can see here they are short and they are curved. But whereas females are a bit longer than males in comparison, and they are straight, more or less straight, but they are curved, but not as much as males. Males are too coiled and they are so short compared to females, but females are long and straight. Even though they have some coilings there, but as compared to males and females, we are talking about this. So females are longer than males. This is one important thing, and we are going to talk about the examples now. So here we are going to, maybe we'll erase this part. Right, so let's talk about the examples. Of this phylum Nemathelminthus or Esculmenthes on nematodes or roundworms. The first important example is Ascaris. If we have to be very specific, it is Ascaris lumbricoides. Lumbricoides. This is the common intestinal worm or common roundworm. So Ascaris is an endoparasite, and one more thing we forgot to mention here, these nematodes can be found everywhere. So anywhere can be found everywhere, like a cosmopolitan. They can be found mostly everywhere. They can be found in aquatic, terrestrial forms, in the soil, and even as endoparasites in both plants and animals. So they can be found everywhere. In most of the habitats they are found. So this Ascaris lumbricoides is the common intestinal worm or the common roundworm which is present in humans. So this is the most common one that we have to memorize. It is found in the intestines, mostly in children, and the disease which Ascaris lumbricoides actually causes is called as Ascarias. So they can be found everywhere, but this Ascaris lumbricoides is an endoparasite. Ascariasis is the disease. Endoparasite. Ascariasis. This thing is a bit complex to pronounce it. It's called as Ascariasis, and the organism is Ascaris. So like that we can remember Ascaris lumbricoides is the organism. It is an endoparasite present in humans, and it's common roundworm or intestinal worm present in intestines, mostly in children, and the disease is Ascariasis. One more we can take, that is Adenophora. Adenophora. One more, Spirurida. So here we can write it, Spirurida. One more we can take, that is Wuchereria bancrofti. This is not Wuchereria, so there are double R's. Wuchereria Bancroft. The pronunciation is also really important, but they're too hard to pronounce. So this is Ascaris lumbricoides, this is Adenophyra spiderida, Wuchereria bancrofti. This Wuchereria bancrofti is called as filarial worm. Filarial worm. The common name is filarial worm. And this Wuchereria bancrofti causes a disease called as elephantiasis. Elephantiasis. So elephantiasis is the disease caused by Wuchereria bancrofti, and in humans this disease is caused. This is also an endoparasite, that is filarial worm. Why is it called elephantiasis? Because the swelling of the leg. So the leg is usually swelled, it becomes a bit thick and fat, and the leg looks like the leg of an elephant. That's why it's called as elephantiasis, that disease. And the common name is filarial worm, and the main organism, the roundworm, Wuchereria bancrofti. This is also very important for you to remember. And this also. One more we can take, that is Loa loa. Loa loa is called as eyeworm. This one is usually present in the eye of humans only. In the eye it's present, that's why it's called as eyeworm, and the organism is Loa loa. This is also a very important one. Also, one more we can take, that is Enterobius vernaculus. So Enterobius this is vermiculus. So Enterobius vermicularis is called as hookworm. Hookworm. So Enterobius vermicularis is the hookworm, and this is also an endoparasite because it has hooks. So hookworm, Enterobius vermicularis. Also one more is Ancylostoma. I think this is called as pinworm. Yes. So this is called as pinworm. Enterobius vermicularis is the hookworm. Ancylostoma is called as pinworm. So these are some examples of nematodes. The important ones are Ascaris lumbricoides, Wuchereria bancrofti, and in these three also Loa loa eyeworm, Enterobius vermicularis, hookworm, Ancylostoma, pinworm. So these are some examples of Aschelminthes or nematodes, and these are the most important ones. Again, let me repeat. Ascaris lumbricoides is an endoparasite or roundworm. It causes the disease Ascariasis, and the next one is Adenophora and Spirorida. Wuchereria bancrofti, filarial worm, causes elephantiasis. Loa loa eyeworm, Enterobius vermicularis, hookworm, Ancylostoma is the pinworm. So examples of nematodes or roundworms, and this thing we have already taken a look at. This is a very important one. And in exams they can ask this kind of questions. They will give the diagram and they will tell you to tell which one, ask you to tell which one is male and which one is female. You can easily distinguish between the male and female. The male is shorter than female. Females are longer and usually straight. The males are shorter than females and usually coiled. They are curved. And these general characteristics we have taken a look at. One more, syncytial epidermis, this is important one, and the mouth with 3 to 6 lips with sensory papillae, that is important, and this one as well, longitudinal muscles. It doesn't contain circular muscles, it only contains longitudinal muscles. And complete digestive system, this is where we are seeing the complete digestive system. In Platyhelminthes, it is incomplete one. It is blind sac body plan. And also pseudocoelomate. This is also a bit developing phylum. In the previous phylum, we have seen it is acoelomate. Here it is pseudocoelomate. So these are some examples of nematodes. Also, we have taken a look at the Utili one. Utili, that organism where Utili is first found, is Kenor habitus elegans. So that is where the first time Utili is discovered. And we have taken a look at some general characteristics of nematodes and some important characteristics as well, some unique ones, and some examples of nematodes. So this is all about the phylum Aschelminthes or Nemathelminthes, commonly called as roundworms or nematodes.